Hello, guys. Good evening. I trust everybody is doing very well. Please let me know if you can hear me. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Okay. I think we're having more people on the stream. Good evening. Good evening, Faith. Best Me. Good evening, Yekwere, Emilia, Rio Good, Jimo Aisha. Chi Ejima, Blessing Akpan, Onyekwere, Miracle, Treasure Rod, Tom Pilla, Angelica. Good evening. All right, thank you, Chi. Adefisayo. Good evening, everybody. I trust we all are having a restful weekend. So, as is a custom of us, we wait a little while for everybody to join in, and then we just give them the grace of 5 minutes, and then by 5 minutes past my local time here, which is 7, we will commence the session. So thank you very much, guys. Yeah. All right. Good evening, Gift. Good evening, Jane. Yeah. All right, so it's 8 minutes past 7. So good evening, everybody. Yeah, it's sorry, I mean 5 minutes past 7. So good evening. I think we can start now. Okay, for those complaining, we actually were on a little wait for others to join in. So I believe you can all hear me now. All right, so we'll just get it to it. So today we'll have like a little recap of what we've done for the week, and then we will get to the remaining part of Wi-Fi security. We'll be able to. We have two kind of Wi-Fi security attacks that we'll be practicing for today. One of it will be alternative to practical, just like we did the other time. And then the other one, if you have a Windows system with you there, you should be able to practice along with me in this session, right? So if you have a Windows system and you have administrative rights, you should be able to carry out the second in quotes attack. Yeah. So thank you very, very much. Just a quick one. So before we start, please can somebody give me a quick recap of what we did last time we met on Tuesday? And if you have any question that is related to the topic in question, right? The topic that we're treating right now, please feel free to ask. And then after that, we will do a little recap and get to the tasks that we have to tackle for today. All right, so I will be looking at the comment section now for comments, contribution, and if possible, questions before we move on. So thank you very much. So just a little addition. Today's class is like a continuation of the last one. So that's why I want us to do a little refresh before we move to the task for today. Today is purely practical. Yeah. So thank you. All right. Thank you. Hot topic wireless security. Temitope wireless network. Wired is more secure than wireless. All right. Thank you very much, hot topic, for that. Okay. More contribution, guys. So I'm waiting for more contribution. Okay, thank you very much. Hot topic. Wireless is not limited to Wi-Fi alone. We have Bluetooth. Yeah. All right. Um. All right, Temitope. Thank you. Well said. Wi-Fi hacking, wireless Wi-Fi encryption, Wi-Fi security, history of Wi-Fi security, WPA, WPA2 from Precious. Okay. Thank you, Tam. Angelica, wireless is more convenient than wired. Yes, very valid point. It is more convenient. Yeah. Osime, common threat to wireless network. All right, nice. I would love to see some common threats. Example of some common threats. Common threats, Osime. All right, thank you, hot topic. Bluetooth and Zigbee. Nice, nice, nice. Happiness, Wi-Fi security. Okay, okay. Okay, thank you, Sime. DOS, that is denial of service, and the man in the middle. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, the authentication attack. All right, thank you very much, Boluwatife. That was the one we showed how to carry out in the last class. Yeah. All right. Hot topic: WPA3 is the latest generation of Wi-Fi security standard. Nice, nice, nice. Flourish if dropping is part of the threat. Yes, nice, nice. Well said. Well said. All right. So let's see. I will just take a little more and then we will do a recap before we move to what the agenda for today. All right. So Busayo says DDoS attack is a type of DOS attack that targets communication between a user and a Wi-Fi wireless access point. Nice, nice. Oluwaseyi DDoS attack. All right. So I have a question because I'm seeing a lot of DDoS attack here. So do I need to be joined to a wireless network before I can carry out the authentication attack, or I could even carry it out without connecting to the Wi-Fi? All right, so I'll be waiting for the answer for that. And nice, nice. Thank you, Hot Topic. Evil Twin attack and Kali Linux. Precious Evil Twin attack. Yes, yes. Nice, nice, nice. Aha, I'm having more of Evil Twin attack because I was expecting that. I was expecting that. All right, nice, nice. Glad you guys can recollect that and find it worth mentioning. Okay, that's cool. So I will be waiting for an answer to the question I just gave. So I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. Yes, valid point. Best me. Wireless is more cost effective than wired than non-wireless. That is, I believe you mean than wired. Okay, yes, that's very true. The cost of getting hardware, cable, and all those stuff, and then maintaining all those things, cable management, makes wired more expensive. Yes. Okay. So Priscilla is saying, okay, evil twin attack. Temitope, okay. So I said, do I need to be joined to a network before I can carry out the authentication attack? Or it is possible for me to carry out the authentication attack against a target network without being joined to the network. All right. Okay. Okay, Happiness said you need to connect to your Wi-Fi before you can carry out um DOS attacks. I believe you mean the authentication attack. Okay, okay. All right. Let me take more answers before. Okay, okay. Um Damisa, yes, you have to connect to Wi-Fi. Okay, okay. More. Is there anybody of an opposite view? Okay, you will be joined in. Okay, okay. That is from Jimmy. All right, I need more answer, guys. More answer, please. All right. Okay, since I'm not getting more answer, you don't have to be joined to a Wi-Fi network before carrying out the authentication attack. Okay, and now I have answers agreeing with me. No, that is from Obaru. No, you don't need to connect before you carry out the authentication attack. All right, nice. Precious, the authentication frame is part of the Wi-Fi protocol. Okay, so you need to be joined. All right, so let's give it to Obaru. Yeah, you don't need to be joined to a network before you can carry out the authentication attack, which is one of the things that makes it deadly, right? Which is one of the things that makes it interesting. Yeah, makes it interesting that you don't have to be joined to the network before you can kick people out of the network. All right, so I have another one from Zainab also agreeing with me. All right, that's cool. Thank you very much, Zainab. Thank you. So I believe that should be all. I think we are very much good to go. So I will proceed to the slide now. So welcome as usual. You know my name by now already, so we don't need to go over this. So last week we treated Wi we start sorry, this week we started Wi-Fi security and we did introduction to wireless network, treated the various security protocol for wireless, for the Wi-Fi, which is WEP, which is like the insecure version. We have WPA, WPA2, and WPA3, and then common Wi-Fi wireless network attack, that is wired attack. I'm sorry, Wi-Fi attack. We did looked at some of them, and then we started an alternative to practical on how to break or hack Wi-Fi, right? Okay, so just a quick, we went through types of, we established that wireless network is not just limited to Wi-Fi. We have Bluetooth, we have ZB, we have cellular network, as you have here, as we have here on the slide, right? And then we say, okay, it operates using radio waves, right, to transmit data between devices, right? Went further to explain something, the importance of privacy. We have to maintain privacy since the information is traveling in the airwaves. That means anybody can intercept it. So in order for us to make sure that though anybody who is intercepting, right, which is like man in the middle, right, they can't actually make sense out of the information that is being transmitted wirelessly, right? Which bets towards encryption, right? We encrypt our data so that even if somebody is intercepting it, it is of no use to them. Then common threats, we looked at eavesdropping, unauthorized access, denial of service, rogue access points, which was what led us to talking about twin evil attack or evil twin attack, man in the middle. Yeah. Then Wi-Fi encryption, this was the part we spoke about WEP, WPA, WPA2, WPA3. Cool. And then all right, spoke about hacking, defined what hacking is, and then we established that you should not hack any network that you do not have access to, right? And then we went for that to show us how the authentication attack works, what the process looks like, the commands you will use to be able to accomplish the authentication attack, right? And then we also established, right, that you don't. One of the beauty of this kind of attack is that you do not even need to be joined to that network before you can carry out this attack, right? Okay. So yeah. Then we have some screenshots showing the attack, carrying out the attack, and then we were able to we successfully carried out the attack, as you can see here. All right. So right now we will be starting with how one can possibly hack an open Wi-Fi network, right? How can we hack open Wi-Fi network? Okay. All right. But before we move, okay, my slide is betraying me already. So I already have the answer to the question I wanted to ask. But okay. So how many of us have before now used an open Wi-Fi network? How many of us maybe at the airport, train station, or in the hotel, right? Have you used open Wi-Fi network? Okay, Priscilla. All right. So can you give us what's the experience? Can you quickly type what the experience looks like if you have used it before? Let me know what's the experience look like. Well, okay. Somebody's Cecile. Sorry, Pearl is saying I have one in my school. So I mean, for those of us that have used it, can you give us quickly type what the experience looks like. Do you have to enter a password, or there's no password, you just log in, and then what does the process looks like? Then just explain, then I can make my point. Yeah. Okay, it's always slow. Network is always slow. Okay. I take it that you are joining your school Wi-Fi, right? There are a lot of students, right? So the network is congested. All right. Miracle is saying, oh, I was given a password. Okay. All right, nice. Okay, so I'm waiting for more. Okay, thank you very much for this beautiful contribution. Esther, some have password while some do not. Yes, that means Esther is with me. Esther is with me. All right. Okay, so some person were saying, no, there's a password. I was given a password. Some people are saying, oh, there's no password. I wasn't given a password. Okay. All right. Jimmy said it was a nice experience. Cool. All right. Aderunke, no password needed. Okay. All right. Ivy, yeah, you are given a password to use sometime. It's time sensitive. True, some have password while some do not. I need to enter a password, but there was no password. Sometimes you find it difficult to connect even after the password. They'll tell I got a password. Okay, some you automatically connect once your Wi-Fi is turned on. All right. Okay, Precious, I love this. In school, you have a required username and password. Now, Precious is taking us more. Okay, that's nice, nice, nice. Okay. Okay, Rio good. I once visited an hotel before, and I was given, and after that day, anytime I'm close to the place, it connects automatically. All right. So for Rio good, can you tell us the security implication of what is happening, what has happened in this particular hotel, right? And then after telling us the security implication, can you give profile solution to this problem, right? You only use their service for that day, so you should only be able to use their Wi-Fi for that day. All right. So I'll be waiting. I'll be looking out for your answer. All right. All right. Thank you very much, Olamide Zainab. Yes, yes. Thank you. Beautiful point. Um. Okay. Okay. All right. Obinwe name. All right. Okay. So let me take a few more, and then yes, thank you, Angelica. It's usually one-time password. So that was the problem with Rio Gold Zone, right? They were not using a one-time password, and that's why whenever she comes, she can always connect. So it's like them giving her free service, right? Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Rio Good. Thank you. They should change it once you leave, and there should be an expiration for that. Yes. All right. All right. Okay, somebody saying the one they used this from Amona, the one I use in my school requires a password, usually our matric number. Okay, so can you tell us the security implication of this, right? You can easily get somebody's matric number, and then you can impersonate them on the network, I believe. Okay. Adebayo, there's no password. Yes, true. Some, like some persons have said, some have passwords, some do not have password. Yeah, and there's a reason for that. We'll get to that soon. Okay, thank you, Onyekwere Miracle. That's the best practice. That's the best. That's a good practice. They change it daily basis on a daily basis, right? Oh my God, Obi name. Oh my God, some banks too. Wow, a particular bank, once you enter, you are on. Interesting. All right. Yes, yes, Ivy, yes, yes. That what P said is valid. Yes, yes, that's true. It's unsafe to connect to free Wi-Fi's. Yeah, because the Wi-Fi owner can monitor your network traffic. Yeah. Okay, okay. Thank you, Victoria. All right, Adibayo. Okay, so let's get to it. So thank you all very much. So I will be explaining a couple of things, right? Right. For those of us, right? Okay, let's just I will explain as we proceed, right? So open Wi-Fi network is commonly found in hotels, airport, and large organizations, right? And they typically require users to authenticate through what we call a captive portal, right, before they are given access to the internet, right? So for this kind of Wi-Fi, right, for this kind of wireless network, right, there is actually no password, right, at the point of connection. But for you to be able to connect to the internet, for you to be able to use the internet access, you need to, most time when you connect to such Wi-Fi, you will see that somehow you will be redirected to a captive portal, right? That means your browser will open up and then you find yourself in a particular page, especially for those of us who are still in school that said, oh, you have something like that in your school, right? So you automatically get redirected to the page. Once you get to the page, you see a particular slot for username and password as or just your ID as the case may be. Okay, so cool. So we'll be looking at how it is possible to exploit this kind of open Wi-Fi if proper security is not in place. That, oh, if I get to an organization and they're using this kind of wireless network, right, without having a username and password, how can I use their internet? How can I get connected to the network? Okay, all right, okay. Okay, so the network are often unprotected, meaning anyone within range can connect without a password. But however, access is restricted until user logs in or agrees to the terms and service of the network. So in order for you to be able to carry out this particular type of exploitation that we are going to be looking at into this class, right, you need to understand something called MAC. There's something called MAC, right? MAC address. So MAC stands for Media Access Control, right? Media access control. So media access control address spoofing involves changing the MAC address of a network interface to impersonate another device on the network, right? Attacker can sniff the network for MAC addresses of authenticated devices and then spoof their own device MAC address to match, tricking the network into granting access without authentication. Now, so before we proceed, just to make sure that everybody is on the same page. So I don't want to assume that everybody in this session knows what a MAC address is. So now MAC address, right? Just maybe in networking fundamental, right? You know that there's something called IP address, right? IP address. Okay, IP address is like your house address on the internet or in the network rather, right? Is your IDs is what they use to identify you in a particular network, right? Now, IP address is not is can either be static or dynamic, right? So depending on the type of network or the particular network that you are joined in, right? That determines the IP address that you join. So maybe today you are in church and then you join your church network. Your IP address could be something like 192.168.7.4. If you should join another network, maybe in an hotel, your IP could change, will definitely change to become something like 192.168.9.11, right? So your IP address changes, right? It is dynamic. But now your MAC address is something that is what we call a hardware hard coded address. That means every system in the world has a unique MAC address. MAC address is what is used to identify every system has a unique MAC address. Now, also you must note that what you do in this particular attack is called MAC address spoofing. It is not MAC address changing. You are not changing your MAC address. You are only spoofing your MAC address. Okay? So, okay, just to make sure I am making sense to everybody, please let me know if you understand me or if you are following up with my explanation, please. Please let me know if you are following up with my explanation. Okay, thank you very much for that beautiful question. Thank you, Hot Topic. Following Obinwere was spoofing. So spoofing is like is claiming to be what you are not. So think of spoofing as lying, right? So for example, you ask me what is your name, right? Everybody on this call knows that my name is Emmanuel. But now spoofing is like you ask me what's your name, and then I say my name is Obinwere, right? That means I'm lying about my name, right? That doesn't mean my name has been changed. So if you do not have concrete evidence to determine if my name is actually Obinwe name, you just have to what? Just have to believe me. Okay? All right. So now let's say for example, so for today's class, I will be switching from different between my system and the slide for today. So please let me quickly bring up another screen. Okay. All right. So I have somebody asking here. Is VPN does VPN use no VPN does not use MAC address spoofing. So what VPN does is what IP. Think of VPN. It's not necessarily IP spoofing. It's not because VPN is not IP spoofing because you are just connecting to another system and then you are routing to wherever you are supposed to route to from there. But surface level, at abstract level, you can say VPN is like IP spoofing. Do you understand? But it's not necessarily what is happening. Okay, so now, say for example, you can see here that I have displayed my network information, right, for this particular device that I am using, right? And in Linux, if you want to check your network information, your IP information, right, you use the command ifconfig, right? I want to believe everybody can see my screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Please let me know before I proceed. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Francis. Okay. So now I'm showing you my network device information. Okay. Now, after doing this, I have different network this particular computer is connected to, right? And on those different network, I have an IP address attached to my system, which is like the identifier, right? Which is my system identifier on those network. Now, you can see that on this particular network known as VMnet1, my IP address, which is inet, is what 172.16.109.1. This is my IP address, right? And then my MAC address is what? This is ether, which is for my MAC address, right? Is 00.55.50.56.c0.00, sorry, column 01, right? Okay, font is tiny. All right, give me a minute. It should be better now. All right, so we have this here. Okay, so this is my IP address, right? And then this is my MAC address on this particular network. Now, if I should disconnect my system from this network called VMnet1 and connect again, there is a high chance that this my IP address that you are seeing that is 172.16.09.1 could change to what? 172.16.109.8. It could change to the last part of it, could change to maybe .11. It could change to .10. It could change to anything because this particular address is not hard coded for me, right? But now you see this MAC address, right? It remains the same for this particular system, regardless of the network I join. I will always have this MAC address for this my particular network this my particular system network interface card, NIC. Some people pronounce it as NIC. So now, for the only way I can change my MAC address is by what? By buying a new network interface card. I unscrew this my system. I remove the built-in network interface card, and then I plug in this new one. That is the only way this particular one can change. But then it is possible for me to what? To spoof this interface card. Okay, thank you. So MAC address does not change, but what? It can be spoofed. That means you can lie about your MAC address. Now we are getting to, you soon understand why we are explaining MAC address. Now the reason why we are explaining what a MAC address is, let's get back to our slide, is because for most open Wi-Fi, what they use in identifying devices that are supposed to have internet access is what? Is the MAC address. Okay, so now most of these open Wi-Fi, right, have what we call a whitelist. Now, a whitelist, think of it as a table inside the router where they are going to write the MAC addresses that are supposed to be connected to the internet. Okay, I believe you are following me now. So as soon as you get to that portal, right, for those that have portal, right, you need to put in your information in those portal before you are given access to the internet. As soon as you get to that portal, right, and you enter in the correct detail, right, which is the username and the password, and just like somebody said, the what is it called, the matric number of the student, right? Then your system MAC address will be what? Will be picked and put on that table. So as soon as your MAC address is on that table, that means your system will then have what? Internet access. Your system will then be properly connected to the network. Okay. All right. So thank you. I hope you guys are following. Please let me know if you are following. Please let me know if you are following. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Seaman, I need more answers. Let me know if you are following, please. All right, all right. Thank you, thank you. Glad to. I'm happy you guys are following. So now let's recap so everybody can understand. For most of this open Wi-Fi, right, where you have to enter in what, where you have to enter in information such as username and password. And for those of us in school, we have to enter our matric number. We said as soon as we enter this, what the network is going to do is what? Pick our MAC address and then put it on that table. So anytime we're trying to browse, it just checks the table. Okay, this computer that is trying to browse the internet is the MAC address on our list. If the MAC address is on the list, then this user can what? Can browse the internet. Then this user can do XYZ on the what? On the network. So now keep in mind that we already established that what? MAC cannot what? Cannot change, right? But then, having explained that although MAC address cannot be changed, it is possible to what? To spoof MAC address. Then that means if you get to a network, right? And then if you don't have username and password, I hope you are following. Yeah. But then you can, first of all, it is possible for you to sniff a network. We'll get to that. We'll get to that very soon. Just hold up for that one. Don't get confused, right? What we have to do is to just what? Try to find somebody that is connected to that network, right? That can browse the internet or carry out the action that we are not supposed to be able to carry out unless we are properly authenticated, right? And then we can then claim to be that person. We can what? Spoof our MAC address to that person's MAC address. So then if we spoof our MAC address to that person's MAC address, now if we are trying to do what we are not supposed to do, maybe browse the internet, maybe access some sensitive file on the network that is only supposed to be accessible to those that are properly authenticated, right? Once the network asks your system, oh, what is your MAC address, right? Your system is going to lie to the network that, oh, my MAC address is Temi Peter's MAC address, right? And then if the router believes you, if the access point believes you, then what you can what do what you are not supposed to do. So what the router will now do is to pick your IP address because there's a table. Remember I said there's a whitelist, right? This whitelist most time will contain IP address and MAC address, right? So it will just pick your IP address and put the spoofed MAC address that you claim to be attached to it. So anything you are going to be doing will now be coming to you. Sorry, no. That's a bad way of putting it. So then you will not be able to do what you shouldn't be able to do on that network. Please, I hope you guys understand. Please let me know. I know this might be a little bit confusing for everybody, for some people. So please let me know if I have, so I know I have to go over the explanation. So what we just have to do, two things we have to do. Find a way to find the MAC address of somebody that is on that network, and then what we spoof our MAC address to that person's MAC address. So after doing that, if we can successfully do that, then we'll be able to have internet access or get access to information that we are not supposed to have access to. Okay. So Jenny said I should explain again. Okay. 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 All right. Okay. Okay. So I have more people saying I should go over it again. Right. So let's take it a step at a time. One step at a time. So please, everybody calm down. Please pay attention now. So we established that on this open Wi-Fi network, most time, right, we need a username and a password. We need something to what? We need something to provide to them, right, in the captive portal. So after providing that information, our MAC address will be documented. It will be whitelisted. So it is only the whitelisted MAC address that we have access to the internet. So although you are connected to the Wi-Fi, you won't have internet access until you have proved that you have some information, which is usually what? The username and the password. Okay, clear. So now we said for us to be able to carry out this MAC address spoofing attack, what we will just do is to what? Spoof our MAC address using a particular software. So now we won't just spoof our MAC address to any MAC address. We will first have to look for somebody who is connected to who is properly connected to that Wi-Fi. So once we find somebody that is properly connected to that Wi-Fi, we will now copy the person's MAC address and then spoof our MAC address to be that person's MAC address. So since on the table, that MAC address has been whitelisted or documented to be able to access the internet or a particular resource. Do you understand? Since we have also been able to spoof our MAC address, then we will now have access to the internet or that particular resource that we are not supposed to have access to. Okay, so I know the next question is going to be, how do I get the MAC address of somebody that is connected to the network? But let's hold up for that. Please let me know if you now understand me. If you don't, let me go over it one more time. So explaining it without demonstration can be a bit tricky. So let me know and then we will get to business. Okay, so somebody Evania says it's clear. Thank you, Evania. Obaru says clear. Okay. Ivy, it's clear. Thank you, Ivy. Usime, okay, nice, nice. I'm glad you guys can understand it now. But please let me know if you don't. If you don't, please let us know. So we'll go over it one last time and then we will move to practicals. Okay, thank you, Bukola. Okay. Remi's Arena, clear. All right, all right. Okay. Okay, Okoli Grace, explain again. Okay, Obiwene, find someone who is properly connected, spoof my MAC address to that person's whose address is already registered, and I will connect. Thank you. That's a beautiful summary. Thank you very much, Obiwene. Oh, Afolabi, I'm sorry. I probably missed it. probably missed it. Okay, let me look for it. Okay, yes, through spoofing our MAC address to an authenticated MAC address, we can access information. Yes, yes, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much, Olajumoke Afolabi. Yes, thank you, thank you. Well said, well said. Okay, okay. So somebody asked me to go over it again. That is Grace. So Grace, just like Obiwe name said, right? The system has a list of MAC addresses that are supposed to be connected to the internet. Huh? Okay. So what we will just do is to what? Find somebody who is already on that list and then spoof our address to that person's address. So to whenever we are making any whenever we are making any network interaction on that network, the Wi-Fi or the access point will be seeing that we are that person. So let me give you a real life example. Okay, so I'm already getting familiar with some names here. So let's say we have Obaro, right? We have Bemisola, right? That is Obinwe name. Then we have Jane in a particular room. Then you have me. Okay. Now you are just meeting us for the first time, right? And you are supposed to respond to only you are supposed to respond to only Obaro, Jane, and Obinwe name because these people have been able to prove they've they've been able to supply particular information to you. So that means these three ladies have been what whitelisted. You can only answer them. So they could send you on an errand, right? They will say, oh, get me something, get me puff puff by the junction, like that, like that, like that, other stuff like that. Okay, then you have Emmanuel who has not been able to um provide the same information that is needed for him to get added to that white list, right? That means you are not going to respond to anything any errand Emmanuel is sending you. But now it is possible for Emmanuel to lie that his name is not Emmanuel, but that his name is what is Obinwe name. So whenever Emmanuel asks you that, oh, please let me get puff puff at the junction, and you ask, oh, what is your name? And I say, oh, my name is Obinwe name. You check your list and then you see that Obinwe name can send you an errand, right? You are going to answer me. Do you understand? Since the name I claim is my name is already on the list. Okay, so I hope this my tricky and very funny explanation is clear. Is clear. Okay. All right, thank you, Binwenem. Got it. Adebayo, what if the person that is properly connected disconnects? Will I still be connected? Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Since, right, it depends. It depends, but most time you will. Most time you will, because the unless the there is a lockout that because unless there's a maybe there's a lockout after every maybe 1 day, every 2 day, or maybe every 3 day. Do you understand? Right. So the what is it called? The white list will contain the MAC address, right? So as long as the whitelist is not being cleared and maybe everybody has to re-authenticate again, then you are very much good to go, even if the person disconnects. Even if the person disconnects. But then if the whitelist is being cleared and everybody has to reconnect, that's when you have a problem. That's when you have a problem. Ayomide. Okay. Okay, Adaku, what's a mobile cloner and does it also spoof? Can you please better explain your question? Your question is not so clear to me. So now, I remember I saw a I saw a particular comment. The person said, "Oh, I said I mind." So I believe that person is talking about how we can get the MAC address of those who are connected to the Wi-Fi. Now, in our last alternative to practical, we used a couple of tools, right? Remember, we used so you have to repeat some of this step that we did in our alternative to practical. So to get MAC addresses, you do what we call sniffing, right? So you can actually sniff for information. Remember that we said in what? In wireless, every information is being transmitted in the what? In the airwave, right? So we have a lot of information transmitted. So now for your for your what is it called? For your network interface card, right? For every system from factory network interface card. Remember the last time I said there are two modes. We have the managed mode and we have the monitored mode, right? Now let me quickly switch my screen again so I can make my points. Now let me present my black screen now. Okay, please let me know if you can see my black screen. Please let me know if you can see my black screen. Please let me know if you can see my black screen. All right, thank you, Miracle. Thank you, Kemi. Thank you, guys. Okay, so let me remove all this information we have here. Now, if we do if config again, now you can, let's take this particular, this is my system joined to my home Wi-Fi, right? Then you can see this information. This is my IP address. This is my MAC address. Okay, now if I do IW, there's another command for IW config. I'm sorry, IW config will show you some information that are missing here. It's going to show you the mode that this my network interface card, which is WLAN 0, is on. So if I do this now, you can see here that we have an information here that mode is what is managed. Now, please, okay, so let me explain. Managed mode, right, is like the manufacturer telling my system that it should mind its business. Do you understand? Now, remember we said a lot of information is being transmitted in the airwave. A lot of information is being transmitted in the airwave. So when your network device, right, when your network interface card, right, is in managed mode, this is just the manufacturer telling your system that, oh, you only answer to information that is related to you. You mind your business. So any information that is not being sent to you, you don't respond to it. Any information that does not involve you, right, you do not have to get into it. Right? I hope you guys are following, right? So now, although a lot of information is happening, a lot of network information is happening in this my network, right? A lot of information are flying in the airspace, right? A lot of information are flying in the airwave. My system will only respond to information that is meant for my system because it is where it is a managed mode. Now, the other mode, which is monitored mode, it is me saying anything that is passing by, please don't mind your business again. Any information that is flying in the air will just be checking it, just be intercepting it, just be receiving it. Do you understand? Right? So now, since we have this, right, if we change our system from manage mode to monitor mode, then we can also tell systems that are connected to that network. And from there, we could also look at there's other things we look at. We look at, oh, this part we can tell which system is making a lot of network traffic, which system is not making a lot of network traffic. Now, if we are trying to get into a network, right, and we see 5 connected devices, right, maybe we are you got into the network as the hacker, right? And then you see that, oh, there are 5 MAC addresses, and then you see that, oh, 3 MAC addresses are making a lot of network traffic. Then your best bet is that those 3 MAC addresses that are making a lot of network traffic are properly authenticated to the what? To the network. So you can now spoof your MAC address to any of those 3 MAC addresses. Okay, so now let me switch screen again so we can understand this from our previous slide, our alternative to practical slide. Okay, please let me know if you can see my new screen, please. Okay, Adebayo says still lost. Please let me type the part where you got lost and just try to follow. Yeah. Let me see if I can go over that again. Please let me know if you can see my new screen. All right. So thank you. So now in this particular screen now, for those that are using their phone, I just hope you can see the fonts. I hope you can. So what I am doing here is to convert my network interface card to what? To managed, to monitor, from managed mode to monitored mode. So I can see everything happening around my system. So I'm telling my system, don't mind your business again. I want to see everything that is happening. I want to monitor everybody. I want to see what everybody is doing on the network, right? Everybody is doing around me. Okay, so now after changing, now you can see after I did IW config, you can see that it's no longer showing managed like I showed you on my normal, on my previous black screen. You can see that here is showing that mode is what is monitored in this part that is labeled 2. Okay. Now, after doing that, now you see, after I then use a tool called AeroDop NG, right? And you can see that I see a lot of, now, because of privacy, I had to blow out some of these other network names. But you can see I'm seeing a lot of networks around me. This is my own network, right? So I can show you this network, but I don't have the rights to show you some of this network. Now, also you can see that I have 2 parts in this my screen. I have this up part showing us all the network, and then I have this second part showing us the devices that are connected to the network. Now, I then use this next command, like you can see here, to check for devices that are connected to this network, right? Then you can pick any MAC address of any device that is connected to this network. Okay, so this is how I am going to be able to, this is how I will find a MAC address of a device connected to the network. So after finding the MAC, this is just for me to find the MAC address of that device, right? After I've gotten the MAC address, I will now use a tool called MAC Changer on my Linux system to what? To spoof my MAC address. Okay, the command is on the screen for Obinwe name. The command is on the screen, but the font is a little maybe if you are using your phone, you might not be able to see. But let me go back a slide and maximize the command. What I have here. So let's make this big. but this is all in one line. The command is sudo dump ng, then channel, because from the previous attack you would have been able to get the network channel number. You put the channel number here, right? Then you put the access, the Wi-Fi, the access point MAC address here, and then your wireless card. Then you'll be able to see everybody connected to that network. And then you also be, the higher the number, right? Let's come here. Now you see this MB. Can you see this? There's a part labeled MB here. Now this MB tells you what's the network traffic for the device. No, not this MB. This rate, sorry, rather this rate now tells you what the network traffic rate looks like for that individual connected. So if you have 10 devices, you see different rates for all the devices. So the higher the rates, then you know that, oh, this device is actually making a lot of network traffic. Then you also have frames. Also, the higher the frame, you know that, oh, okay, that means the particular device is making a lot of network traffic on the network. Okay. All right. So let me attend to a few questions before we go on break. I think someone was asking if she can do this on the Windows system. No. Okay, that is Jane. You can't do this on the Windows system. You need a Linux system to be able to do this, right? Okay. Then Miracle, I don't understand how you change from managed to monitor. So you have a command you use to change from manage to monitor. So remember I said manage is, oh, mind your business. Monitor is, oh, don't mind your business. Find out everything that's happening around you. So there's a command for that. Now, why I won't be demonstrating this switching from manage to monitor is that if I switch from my system that I'm using to demonstrate to monitored mode, I will get disconnected from my Wi-Fi, because remember, I'm no longer minding my business. My system is going to be checking every network traffic around me. And if I disconnect from my Wi-Fi, then I'll be out of this class. Do you understand? So that's why I had to switch to alternative to practical. Yes, you need to get a Linux system to be able to practice this. Okay, now let's clear this. Now, but then let's do if config again to check our MAC address. So now we are doing WLAN 0. Then this is my MAC address 3C 6A A7 D9 2029. This is my MAC address. Now remember I said this MAC address is hard coded. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen again. I am not sharing my, let me switch screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen. If you can see my black screen, please let me know. All right, so thank you. All right, so this is the MAC address that we will be spoofing. Now, the name of the tool that we will be using is what? MAC changer. So now in Linux, if you type the name of a tool and then you do --help, it will tell you, it will show you the menu for that particular tool, right? To show you what you can do. So now you can see that there's a usage instruction that you do what? MAC changer, and then you do the option, right? And the device, okay? So now you can see that this help, we use it to print this message. Then we have version to check version, show. Then we have what? We have random. So if you use this random option, it will set fully random MAC. That means it will spoof to a completely random MAC for you. Okay. But then if you use this other option, --MAC equals to a particular MAC address, is going to what? Set your MAC to what? To that particular MAC. So let's say in the process, after doing the investigation, after doing the monitored mode, right, we are able to get a particular MAC address and then we note it down. We can now come to MAC changer and do what? And do MAC changer dash MAC, right? And then we'll now enter the new MAC that we want to do. So now let me open another terminal screen. Let me quickly open another terminal so I can show you something. ifconfig, right? So you can see this is my MAC. Please let's note down my MAC. This is 3C 6A A7 D9 2029. So let's come back here, right? And then let's enter a new MAC. Let's see. Maybe we discover that the MAC address of the device that is connected to that open Wi-Fi is 28, as you have here on my screen. So which is 283A 4D 76521B, right? Do enter. We need to be super user to do this. So we run into an error. Let's hit enter. Now we can't do this. Okay. So let's do what is the interface name? WLAN 0. Okay, so now it told us that what? Could not change MAC, interface up or insufficient permission, operation not permitted. Now, I will explain. Now, this error that we ran into is intentional. Okay, it's past break time. Hi, Jesus. Okay, help us. All right. Now, before we can spoof the MAC address, before we can spoof the MAC address, we need to first turn off the particular network interface card that we want to do. So now I'm connected to my Wi-Fi. I'm connected to the Wi-Fi that is allowing me to join this class using my WLAN interface, right? Using this particular one. So if I should bring this down, I will get disconnected from this class. Right? So what we'll do is to do for this WLAN 8, right, which is my virtual environment. So this is not going to affect our class. So what we'll do now, we want to let's spoof this particular MAC address. So let's note this one down. So we have this one on the screen. So what we'll just do, first let's open another terminal here so we don't miss the information. So we first have to bring down the network interface card. So we'll do sudo. This is like super user command. So we want to do something as a high privilege user. So we'll do space and then we'll do what? ifconfig space. Then we'll do the network interface card name, which is in this case it is what? The VMnet 8. So we'll just enter the name VMnet 8. Now we want to turn it off, so we'll use the command down. So if we do enter, I will enter my password, and then it is what? Turned off. So if you come back here and we do ifconfig on this particular screen, you can VMnet 8 is no longer here. VMnet 8 is missing because we've turned it off. Okay, so we will now come to the MAC changer now, and then we'll do what? VMnet 8. So we want to change VMnet 8 from what it used to be. So let's come here. When it was still working, it was 005056, this figure, right? This value, right? Now we want to change it to what? We want to change it to 283A and other stuff. So this also is going to, remember, one of the error we had initially was operation not permitted, right? So it has to do with permission. So let's do sudo mark changer. The mark that we discovered is connected to the network, and then the network interface name. So if we hit enter now, I have to enter my password. Okay. All right. Set device name. No such device. Okay. Okay. All right. Um. Okay. Okay. So this way, if this particular what is it called? After doing this now, let's bring this back up. I will explain something soon. Let's do up, right? And let's come here, check ifconfig again. Come here, we have this. Okay. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. Sorry. Down. Okay. Over here, it's supposed to be VMnet 8. Okay. Now you can see that okay. We have this, it's not changed. Okay, did I turn it off? Okay. Yes, I did. So with this is how you will spoof your MAC address. Now, this is not possible. This is not changing because this is virtual environment. This is a virtual system. Okay, right? But if we do this for my network interface card, it is going to change. Reason we can't do it is if I should change that for this my class, if I should turn it down, right? Thank you very much, Precious, for the correction. Yes, it is supposed to be VMnet 8. If I should change for my WLAN 0, then I will get disconnected from this class. That's why we are practicing with VMnet 8. But if you do this, you will have your MAC address changed to whatever you specify. So that is how you spoof your MAC address, guys. So we are past break time. Oh my God, we are past break time. But let me quickly attend to some of our questions, and then we will go on a 10 minutes break and continue soon. Okay, so let me quickly scroll up. I know I missed some. Okay. Okay, so Busola, let me start from Busola. Does the address spoofing affect the connectivity of the address that is being spoofed? No, it doesn't. No, not reasonable. They won't notice. They won't notice. Okay. All right, God, please provide Linux. Okay, you can have a Linux system. What you need to do is to just what is to what you need to do is to set up your virtual environment, install Kali Linux. Yes, somebody explained that. Yes, virtual machine you can download virtual machine and spoof your MAC address. You can download virtual machine and you'll be able to practice with this. Yeah. No, you don't have to buy a new system. You don't have to buy a new system. That's why we explained the concept of virtualization. You can practice all of this in your virtual environment. All right, thank you very much, Pris, for saying this. Yeah, thank you very much, Benita. Thank you for this contribution also. Yes, Pris, thank you. Download Kali Linux and then go over it with what you've been taught tonight. Okay, Dell Inspiro 1 TB hard disks. It will gift. This system is perfect to start. Yes, this will get the job done. This will get the job done gift. Okay. Okay, Ivy, Linux is not the only system you will use as a security professional. No, you also get to use Windows system. So most time, what you just do is you have your Linux in your virtual environment. When you have to do it, you go and use it, and then you use your Windows as your everyday system. But for some of us, we decide to use Linux completely. But no, 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 you can use Windows. You need Windows. You need Windows. All right. Thank you for the correction, Precious. Yes, I made a mistake. It was supposed to be VMnet 8, not VMnet. Thank you. Okay, so Jane, you need just one good system, and then you can virtualize other types of system in this other one. Yeah. Okay, yes. Miracle. Miracle. Okay, sorry, I think I missed the question before I get to Miracle Zone. Jimmy, we still have issues installing our virtual. I thought you guys resolved that. I checked the message on the group and I saw somebody explaining. So, okay. So I thought everybody was settled with that, Jimmy. But you should go through the messages on the group. You should find a solution for that. Okay, so Miracle is asking, are there limitations in virtual environment? Yes, yes, there are some limitation, but when you are just starting, virtual environment is very, even for me, like myself, I use a Linux system directly on my system. I'm sorry, Linux operating system directly on my system, right? Because there are some kind of attacks you might want to carry out that because you are virtualizing your system, it might not work. But then you need virtual environment because even in this my Linux system, I have a Windows system virtualized. So whenever I want to carry out anything related to Windows, I can get to use that. Okay. Yeah, but this is on a personal basis. That's why I'm using my Linux. Okay. So thank you, Miracle. Benita, sir, if we change our mode from manage mode to monitor mode, wouldn't the system be at risk of? No, 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 no. There's no virus. No, no. You won't be at risk of virus. The only risk you might get into is if you damage your wireless interface card. That happened to me. Very funny story, right? You could destroy it. So you have to be very careful. Okay, so Onye Consola is saying, can we use VMware for the authentication attack? Yes. So that is one of the limitation. Miracle. Yes, Miracle's question. Yes, from your VM, Wi-Fi hacking can be a lot of work. You might need to buy some hardware to complement for that. So you might need to buy a Wi-Fi card, right, to complement because your VM does not have direct access to your system Wi-Fi card. So you might need to buy an external one to be able to carry out the authentication attack from your VM. Okay. But if you are someone like me that does not like spending, that does not have too much money to spend, right? Then you want to find another alternative. But yes, you can do the authentication attack from your virtual environment, but then you need to buy a hardware called a Wi-Fi card. So that's the answer. Okay. Um, Praise, sir, please. Is it possible to give a step-by-step process and procedure for these tasks, please? Things like first download Kali, second do this. Yeah, so I have everything properly documented in the slide. If you check the alternative to practical, let me quickly switch my screen. That's what I did because I know when you guys are practicing, you need the command. So let's go through the alternative to practical. So you notice I have the command first, then I have a screenshot to show you what it's supposed to look like. So you can see, let's come here. You can see I first start monitor mode on wireless interface, then I put the command down. Then you see me running. This is a screenshot of me doing it. This is what it's supposed to look like. So you can follow everything step by step. So that's why we have this alternative to practical in the slide. All right, so I hope that answers you. Praise miracle. So it's just best to have a Linux operating system out. No, 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 it's not. It's a matter of personal preference. So, miracle. So, from what I explained, right, if you have some limitations in the virtual environment, right, there are some hardware you will have to buy to complement it. So, it's just me trying not to buy those hardware, right? So, it's a matter of preference. But most time, we advise that for a lot of people, we advise just virtualize things for a start. Later on, maybe when you get more comfortable, it's you can take the bolder step of, of moving to full-blown Linux system. Okay, so all right, guys, we've really spent a lot of time. I know practicals like this can always be very interesting with us. So let's quickly take our short 10 minutes break and get back to business for today. We have just one more attack. Don't worry, guys. For that particular attack, you will be able to practice. In fact, you guys will be the one giving me if give you guys will be happy with that attack. Yes, you will be happy because you can do that on your Windows. In fact, I won't be able to do that on live stream because I'm using the Linux system. So you guys will do it at your end and you give me feedback. Okay, so let's have a quick 10 minutes break and then we'll get back to it. So by 8:35, 8:36, we should be back here. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. Okay, guys, I think we should get back to work. Please, I hope we all are available. Please let me know if you are back. Okay, so let me quickly attend to some questions before we jump. We are running out of time. Mm, okay, Busola, yes, yes, you can use Ubuntu. Yes, you can if you want to. Okay, so Praise is saying I should make the steps more detailed. Okay, I'll work on that. I will work on that. Okay, so we are good to go. All right, so that is it for spoofing your mark, so you can what is it called? You can have access to the network. Okay, so these are the steps. The first thing, you sniff the MAC addresses, that just like we did from using the what is it called, monitored mode, and M1NG, right? Connect to the network. Sorry, after sniffing, then you spoof, then yeah. Okay, so now also the next one we will be the next attack we'll be talking about, right, is how you can retrieve Windows stored password using a particular command known as netsh. Now, so for every time you connect to a network, right, in your system, the network credential, right, will be what will get saved on your system. There's a place that it gets saved. Now, let me give you a scenario. Like one of the policies in workplaces, right? They tell us, oh, do not leave your laptop screen um on. When if you are leaving your laptop, then you should lock your screen, right? Now, for most people, when you want to do administrative stuff on the system, it's always picking yes or no answer. There's no proper system hardening in place. Now, that means if I want to compromise an organization network, this one is not just a matter of if, it's something I've gotten to do in certain engagements, right? I find a way to get myself to one of the employee system, maybe by social engineering, by conversing with them, or just make friends, or let me quickly do something on your laptop. Just, you know how it is. Then you go to the command prompt and then you type this command. You can actually extract the network Wi-Fi key, and then after extracting it, you can now go to your own system and then what, connect to the Wi-Fi. Okay, so what we are simply doing is not necessarily hack. We are just retrieving something that is stored in what, in the system, and information that is stored on the system. Okay, so for this one, I will want you guys to follow along with me. I want you guys to follow along with me because you are the ones that will be teaching me in this particular one, right? Okay, so let's just quickly go through the slide before we move to practical. So why Windows operating system stores network credential, including Wi-Fi password, right, in the credential manager, right? This stored password can be accessed and retrieved using various methods, one of which involves the netsh command utility, right? So here is how you will use netsh to retrieve stored password. All right, so please, for those who are joined using their laptops now, I will want you to go to your Windows search bar and search for command prompt. Okay, right? Or you do Windows key plus X. select command prompt as admin. Open your command prompt as administrator. So let's just follow one particular step, right? There are multiple ways you could do this. Maybe you could search for CMD, but for today, let's just what? Go to press Windows plus X, right? Then you will see a list of options, then select command prompt as admin. Okay, then you should get a prompt asking you if you want to proceed, yes or no. Select yes. Okay, so please let me know if you have that done. Please let me know when you have that done, please. Okay, please, I'm waiting for your responses. I'm waiting for your response, guys. So let me know when you have your command prompts. Guys, I'm waiting. All right, thank you. Uni consola. All right, all right. Okay, so the instruction is on the screen. Press Windows plus X, right? Then you see a list of options and then select command prompt as admin. Okay, Benita. All right, all right. So thank you, Faith. Thank you. All right. I need more responses to be sure before we proceed, guys. More. All right. Thank you, Bemisola. Yes, select yes, Benita. Select yes, Benita. Okay, so let me quickly switch screen to my virtual environment. So for those that might want to see me do it, so um, okay, so I want to believe everybody can see, everybody should be able to see my virtual environment now. Yes, if you see terminal, yes, go proceed with terminal. Proceed with terminal. So Priscilla, can you see my screen now? Please let me know if you can see my screen, then you follow along. Okay, if you have PowerShell, still good. If you have PowerShell, still good. Can work with CMD and PowerShell. Okay, so now what you just do, come here, you press Windows and X together. Now you have this information, right? So you have terminal admin, get. So we select terminal admin, yes, then we select yes here, and then you should have this screen here, right? Just like you can see. So this is PowerShell here. Okay, now let me make this a bit bigger so everybody can see, right? So for those that have PowerShell, for some of us maybe Windows 10, most Windows 10 users should be CMD. For those, if you have PowerShell here, fine. If you want to switch to CMD, you can click on this drop down. You see this drop down, then you can select command prompt, and then you should get to Windows command prompt. Okay. All right, all right. Okay, so for those in PowerShell, you should switch to command prompt so we can all follow along, so we don't have problem moving on. Okay, Please, I want to believe you guys can all hear me. I want to believe you guys can all hear me. Because I have Gift saying she can't hear anything. All right, thank you very much, Opeyemi. So now, after this now, the next thing for us to do now, we first want to see the list of what network profile. So we want to see all the networks that your system has connected to. So what you do now is to type net sh, as you can see me typing, space, then your network interface card, which is going to be WLAN, then you do space, then you do show space profile. This is the command. Now, because this is a virtual environment, you will not be able to see anything for me, right? So yes, it is not running, fine. But for you who is doing this on your own system, you will get a lot of information after running this command. Okay, so Ginger, what's can you see anything, Ginger? Ginger, please. Sorry, can you see anything? Can you see a list of Wi-Fi's that you've connected to? Please let me know if you've done this, guys. There are some names. There are some names I'm familiar with now. I'm not seeing anything from Ivy. I'm not seeing anything from Praise. Anything from Gbemisola, Priscilla, Bukola, Benita, Faith. I'm waiting for you guys. Okay. All right. Thank you, Jimmy. Yes, Jimmy. Okay. Okay. Ivy said I should go over it again. Okay. Gbemisola, I should go over it again. Okay, okay. Thank you, Praise. You saw, yes, that's good. Different access points. Okay, so it's net sh space WLAN space show space profile. For those that are asking me to go over it again. Okay, yeah, there are so many, yes, because you've connected to a lot of Wi-Fi using that particular system. Okay, for some, Bukola says she's stuck at command prompt. Okay, so for Bukola, you just come here, stuck at command prompt. You can see this little drop down. You should be able to see this little drop down. Click on it and select command prompt. But you should still be able to run this same command in your command prompt. I don't just want to take chances. That's why I say we should switch to command prompt. Okay. All right. So we have a lot of persons following through. Okay, so that's good. So let's move. So after showing all the profile, which are the different access points, the different Wi-Fi that your system has connected to now, what you would do for me is to pick any one of choice. But we advise that you pick one that has a anyone that has maybe one name, but if it has maybe space between the name, you will. Okay, I will explain so I don't confuse anybody. But let's for now just look for any of amongst those profile, pick one that is just a word. Don't pick anyone that has space between. We'll get to the ones that have space between. So after picking that one, just note down the name. What you will do now is to come and do net sh WLAN, right? You do show space profile, right? Space, right? Please I hope you guys are following, right? Then you do space name equals to if one of the name is Emmanuel, so you type Emmanuel, right? Then space, you now do what? Key equals to clear. So this is what you type. Now, if yours has space, what you would do is to come in this name, in the name of the access point, what you would do is to do what? Is to put a quote. So we say Emmanuel space Jesus space boy. So let's assume the name of the network is Emmanuel Jesus boy. Then you close it, then space key equals to clear. So that's what you do. So if it has space between, put it between quotes, put the network name between quotes, opening and closing quotes. Okay. So after typing this, you will then hit enter. It won't work for me because I'm doing this in the virtual environment, but it should work for you. You should see a lot of information. Now, go through the information. You see a place for key or key content. You will see the Wi-Fi password there. So let me know if you've done it. Let me know if you can see the Wi-Fi password. Yes, yes. I'm using the Linux system, so that's why I can't do this. Yeah. Okay, Gbemisola said ha. So what is happening, Gbemisola? I could also do this for Linux, but we are focusing on you guys today. Okay, Praise said it works. Okay, nice. Congratulations, Praise. Okay, let me know. Okay, Obichi Amaka. Okay, I need more response to be sure we are all together, guys. Okay, Obiwe name said is the password. It's super secure, right? Super secure password. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Thank you, Benita. Nice, 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 Benita. I need more response, guys. Ovens crib, Ovens crib. I need a response from you. I omitted yours. Okay. Ginger, yes, Ginger, you're the first person to respond. Have you? Okay, so hot topic. It is net sh space WLAN space show space profile, right? Then after doing that, you should see a list of access points that your system has been connected to. Do you understand? Then you pick any one of choice, right? You pick any one of choice. Then the next command is net sh WLAN show profile, then space name, then you put the name in quotes if there's space, right? If there's space, you have to put the quotes, right? Then space key equals to clear, as you can see on the screen. Okay, Priscilla saying it is not found on the system. Is it similar to the information I have on my screen? If it is similar, then you're probably doing it in a virtual environment. Okay, Jane. From what part, Jane? From what part? Oh, sorry, Juliet. Sorry, Juliet. But Juliet, if you have your computer, type this command on the screen. Type the command on the screen. You should be able to get the result. All right, Jimmy. Yeah, try any one of choice. Keep trying. You will see. Keep trying. Yeah. Okay. Okay, for Mac OS, yes. Okay, for Mac OS, you use a different command, right? Okay, if you have command not found, Priscilla, then there's probably something wrong with your system, right? That means net SH cannot be found. But be sure you are typing it correctly. Net SH together. Okay, okay. Um, for Mac OS, it's very similar to what we have in for Linux system, right? I honestly have not tried this on Mac, but I believe it should be similar to what we have on them. Okay, come up, come up. Okay, all right, all right. Okay, so for some of us requesting for the command, I have it in the slide. So let me just bring the slide up so we can continue. Okay, so we have the command here. So use a net, right? We use NetSH to list the Wi-Fi, right? Then after that, we pick the name like we have here. Okay, so then you look for the key content part under the security setting, right? The value displayed next to the key content is the Wi-Fi password for the selected network profile. So accessing stored password using NetSH, ensure that you have the necessary permission to view sensitive, all right? Cool. So thank you guys. So that is the little practical I know we can all practice from our end. Okay. Okay, Boluwatife, if this is your error, check, look through to be sure you are not making a mistake in the in your typing. Remember, even me the other time, I typed VMnet instead of VMnet 8. Okay, so anybody can make mistake. Just go through the command to be sure that you are not making any mistake in the command. Okay. All right, guys. So that should be it. So let's just do a little recap. So for this you need to understand that it is important that you make sure that nobody has access to your system, right? Because most people, all you had to do was open command prompts as admin. No password was required, and you're able to extract this. So that means if you get to a workplace and you're trying to connect to their network as a pen tester, and you meet somebody, you are able to social engineer them. They gave you their laptop, and you're able to open their terminal. You can retrieve the password as we did here. So it's a matter of imagination and um, trying to be creative when trying to carry out this particular attack on any employee in the in the organization. Yeah, so that should be so. In respect to this, I believe by now we should know that it is very important that we make sure that others will not have administrative access to our CMD, to our command prompt. It is very important, right? And that's why if you are leaving your computer in public, make sure you lock your screen, because if somebody like Emmanuel is around, they can get some information from your laptop. So guys, thank you very much for tonight. This is already 9, but let's see, can we take a few questions, a few contribution before we call it a night? All right. So let's take 1 or 2 questions or contribution before we call it a night. Okay. Okay, hot topic, command not found. So be sure you're typing the command correctly. If it's still not working, then there's probably something not right with your system, right? So yeah, that's what I would say. Okay, so Onyi Consola, no, there's no way to remove your credential from another person's system, right? So remember, whenever you get to a network, your system auto connect as soon as you've been able to, as soon if you've been connected to the network previously. So this is why it is important to do what, to change your network password from time to time, right? From time to time. So even if somebody has been connected, even if they are able to extract the password and they try connecting again, right? If they try connecting again, it will be wrong password because they have your previous password, not your new password. Okay. All right. Okay, Benita, my name is Emmanuel Akobi Ajibolo on LinkedIn. I'm like the only one with that name. So if you search for me, you should be able to connect with me on LinkedIn with that name. Okay, so praise. No, if somebody changes their password, okay, right. If somebody changes their password, then definitely it's not going to update on your terminal, right? Until they enter the newly, until you connect using the new password, right? So that means if the password gets updated, that means the one you have will not be valid anymore. All right. So thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate you all. Thank you very much. So till next time, and have a good night's rest. All right. Thank you very much, everybody.